All here with me this afternoon. Now, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft that is scheduled for the first round for Thursday. We made it an extravaganza Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all draft and Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. God, I can't get enough of it. Not really, but let's talk about the Steelers in the first round. A lot of needs. Offensive line, defensive line. They could really go 5 or 6 different directions. Matt, what is the best way for this team to draft in the first round?
I think with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have to go for your secondary. Your secondary is pretty weak. You have Ike Taylor there, but other than that, it's pretty bad. You have to look at your options here. You see in the draft you have Patrick Peterson, Prince Mukamara, Jimmy Smith. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get a guy in the name of Aaron Williams from the University of Texas, cornerback, 5'11". I think he can fit into the secondary very well and mend with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Aaron, what do you think?
Well, I think the best thing to do would be for the Steelers to go out and get Marquise Pouncey's brother, Mike Pouncey. I think that'd be a great tandem to have them both there, but that would require trading up because I think he's going to go pretty early. But I think what they really need now is somebody on the defensive line. That line is definitely getting older. A lot of those guys from that 2001 draft, Casey Hampton, definitely a step slower than he was, and Aaron Smith has just been a key guy for the Steelers, but he's been injury plagued over the past couple of seasons, so you need to go out and get somebody, either defensive lineman or defensive tackle. I like Muhammad Wilkinson. Big guy, could definitely take up space, which is what you want to do in that 3-4 defense, especially in the middle. Take up some of the linemen, allow those linebackers to come in and do what they got to do. So I think definitely defensive tackle, get bigger and younger on that defensive line.
Melissa?
We have to remember the Steelers don't just draft for need, they draft for value as well. And that being said, the defensive line is definitely where they need to be looking. I agree with you, Matt. Cornerback, secondary is definitely in need, but all the people you mentioned are going to be gone probably within the first 10 picks.
It's not a very deep class.
It's not.
Cornerbacks
It's
are
really
concerned.
not. And anyone who is still available in the first round is not going to be of value for the Steelers. They need to look, like Aaron said, the defensive line can start collecting Social Security pretty soon, and you wanna be looking at these players. A J.J. Watt, someone like that would be of a lot more value to the Steelers defensive line than a low grade quarterback. And there's 18 to 20 defensive linemen going that are of first-round grade. You don't want to miss out on these players. 2
people I want to bring up to all of you. What about Daquan Bowers of Clemson? This guy was a projected top 5 pick, and due to that knee injury, he's been sliding. If he's there, do you take a shot on a Daquan Bowers, even if it is only for 5 years if he can only play?
Yeah, I think with Daquan Bowers, if he does fall into the number 31 spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I say, why not? I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers are always a good draft class. If they can develop Daquan Bowers and get him less injury prone, I take a shot on him.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. I mean, like you said, Melissa, the Steelers go for the best, what they can get the best, but for 4 or 5 years out of a guy, it's just not what the Steelers want. They look long term, as you mentioned, and they're not going to want a guy like this. They're going to want somebody that's going to be there for a while that they can use later on down the road. I just think it's too much of a liability to draft somebody that's been so injured over his career.
What do you think, Melissa?
I'm going to agree with Aaron. There's no way that they can take that risk, and they can put that pick toward better use. They need to think long term, and they have been, and there's no reason that they would change that strategy now for that player.
Now, somebody else that would be panning out long term, like you said, was Marquise's brother, Mike Pouncey. You talk about trading up. With the Steelers' need on offensive line, why not trade up for a guy like Mike Pouncey? I know the problem's going to be there with maybe not the collective bargaining agreement being done. You can only trade up picks, but why not trade up to get a guy like that?
I think it would be a great chemistry for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get a brother into the system with Marquise. I don't think it would be a choice that they wouldn't go and look at. I think Tomlin could very well go down that route.
Like I said, that was my first idea. You got to go out and get this guy. The way they played in Florida, Marquise's brother stayed for an extra year, but I think it's a great move. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it to trade up because you're looking at stabilizing that offensive line that's been such a problem for so many years. You got in that center and the guard. You're good for running up the middle, which is something Steelers want to do is run.
Is Mike Pouncey that good?
I don't agree at all. I think that, again, this can be put to much better use. You can get someone in the 3rd, 4th round that you can develop, turn into that great offensive lineman that you need. And again, put that towards better use, something that's going to be long term. You have Marquise, and it would be great to have two of him. But at the same time,
But is Mike Marquise though? I mean, is the big
as
thing?
As far as I know, they look exactly alike. They have similar skill sets. Exactly, and that's a big risk to be taking to trade up like that. I think you can get someone and develop great coaches, develop someone into that offensive lineman.
I think they've been trying to develop Chris Cameote for the longest time, and I don't really think he's pulling into what they want to be. I think it's really hurt when they lost Russ Grimm as well to Arizona, and that's why these linemen have been developing into what we think they would be. So I think somebody with the natural talent the way Mike Pouncey has, why not go out and get him? Someone that can just throw right into your offensive line.
Real quick, guys, is Cam Newton a #1 overall pick in your eyes?
I think so. I mean, this is such a heavily talented, so much depth in the quarterback position in this draft. But yeah, I think Cam Newton has proven himself, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think Newton has the capability of being a #1 overall pick. He would fit into the Carolina offense.
No, we already saw this story in Oakland with Jamarcus Russell. I don't think you take him.